Hey guys, welcome to our podcast, Super Happy Interesting Times. And today we'll be talking about child rearing. And I have three special guests today, Constable Castro,
Allah Akbar.
Isaac Neri,
Hi.
and Dr. Keller.
Howdy, mate.
And before we get into this discussion, let's go through some definitions. So the definition of abuse is using or containing or characterized by harshly or coarsely insulting language. Another one is discipline, the practice of training people to obey rules or a code of behavior. And the last one is punishment, the infliction or imposition of a penalty as retribution for an offense. So first we'll be hearing from Constable Castro on what he believes on child rearing. Go ahead.
I believe punishment benefits raising a child. The child causes trouble, punishment enforces that in the right way. It's fast and easy. No time is wasted. Think about that. Reasonable solution. Also, grants immediate discipline. For example, back in the day, teachers used to be rowdy. So children acting up, boom, hit them with the whip. They be quiet as punishment. Make some children think right. When children are punished, mix it so they don't do it again. Okay, punishment doesn't mean abusing a child. There are other ways of punishing children to benefit raising them.
Can you explain how punishment will affect the child in the long run? How does it affect them mentally?
It benefits them because they're gonna be right in the future. Because you smack them up, you punish them when they're little, they won't remember it. They're like good, sturdy children. Become teenagers, mature.
Okay, so what's the fine line between punishing and abusing your child?
Well, you had heard me. Punishment doesn't mean smacking them up. I can take your 2DS from playing Pokemon Pearl with your Nuzlocke challenges. If you're going ham, causing havoc, I'm not gonna smack you up. I'm just gonna take your 2DS. I'm gonna ground you. Take your electronics. That's a good punishment.
When can you smack them up? When is it appropriate to smack them up?
Say they're freaky, stealing cars, I'm gonna smack them up. That's the lowest you can go. If you teach early, then they won't do it again.
Now we're going to hear from Dr. Keller on how he thinks a child should be raised. Go ahead, Dr. Keller.
Thank you there, Daniel, too. Well, since my career at the University of Florida, I have learned a lot of facts on hitting your kids, teaching them that it's okay to hit others. And it's really not okay to hit others. In fact, it's the opposite. You don't want your kid causing violence. You don't want it to become a cycle of violence. A cycle of violence is when you hit your kid and then they hit another kid and then that kid hits another kid. If we stop hitting our kids, we can stop that cycle of violence. We can stop bullying. And you might ask, what punishment could you give your kid if they're misbehaving? Well, I got a much better idea. Instead of punishing your kids, you can reward them. For example, if they are doing really good behavior, you can give them more 2DS time instead of taking it away if they have bad behavior. So that will mean that they will always strive for good behavior instead of bad behavior.
Okay, so doctor, I'm not really understanding what you're trying to say here. So you're saying that, say your child steals a car, you're gonna reward them?
If that happened, first of all, I would never think a child that was raised in the way I have just said would ever steal a car. But if, on the off chance they did, you would not punish them, but instead you would tell them you're disappointed.
I think that the point that's trying to be made by Dr. Keller here is that you're not supposed to discipline the child when they do something wrong, but rather that they're only ever rewarded when they do something good.
Doesn't that spoil your child in the long run?
No, it does not, because if you're just rewarding them, eventually you will start lessening the rewards, and they will just be good the whole time. So it actually does not spoil them.
Thanks for giving your spiel. Now we're going to hear from Isaac James Neri talking about discipline and not punishment.
So, my point of view is that it's a little bit of a mixture of both points of view. I feel like that there should be some needed correction when something wrong is done, but I feel like punishment is not the way to be doing it. You can discipline your child without punishing them. I agree a little bit with Constable Castro and Dr. Keller, but I also disagree with in a certain way. I believe that instead of only punishing the child immediately, I think you should teach them in the way that they should go. Really, not tell them what they're doing wrong, because life isn't all just about what not to do, right? It's about, you can enjoy life too. You can get rewards for doing what's good. In that way, I agree with Dr. Keller. I still disagree with him. I do feel that you should be correcting your child when they do something seriously wrong. And by correcting, I don't mean hitting them or getting mad at them. I feel that you should reason with them on why what they did was wrong and why they need to be disciplined for it. And so I don't think that violence should be the way to do it, or verbal abuse. Something that will help them understand what they did was wrong.
So what you're saying is you don't condone spankings?
Difficult one to think about because I was disciplined through spanking. I feel that has helped set me straight. Some people might think that that's too far, but I guess really it's up to the situation.
Like the actual meaning between discipline and punishment.
Well, discipline, as you mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, was that loving guidance. Punishment can be used to enforce discipline, whereas punishment is suffering inflicted upon past actions, mistakes usually. I feel that you should be able to discipline someone, be able to correct them and teach them the way that they should be going without needing to use discipline. I feel that discipline it's a little bit too harsh.
So, Constable Castro, are you gonna say anything?
Well, if your child is causing trouble at school, we should inflict punishment. Because if they have a 2DS, they play all they want. No, not happening. If they're all good, keep going. If they're doing bad, inflict punishment. Take that 2DS away. You cannot finish that Nuzlocke challenge unless you behave good.
Yeah. So a punishment like that, yeah, I can totally agree with, because it's not too extreme. The punishment that I'm thinking about disagreeing with is yelling at your child.
Well, during my studies at the University of Florida, I found out that yelling causes very deep mental problems in them, and it could turn so they yell at their future boyfriends and girlfriends when they're angry.
I really enjoyed that point. I think I completely agree with it. I think that an important issue that it creates a cycle, because if you deal with them, you're angry, it shows them how to deal with situations when they're angry. If they're taught to deal with the situation, if I'm angry, I hit. That's what they learn, and that's how they're going to react from now on. And that's not what we should be teaching people.
Well, I disagree, because if your child is a bully, they inflicting verbal abuse on others, I believe you can inflict verbal abuse to them to see how they feel. The bully, and you're the parent, you gotta show them what's right by showing what they're doing to others.
What you're saying is, if your child is a bully, you as a parent should bully them.
Not necessarily.
If you abuse your child and yell at them and they're doing bullying stuff at school, where do you think they learned that from? Exactly. He starts yelling at his kids, they're going to start yelling at other kids more. In my opinion, if your child is a bully, usually they have learned it somewhere. And if you are a child abuser, most likely the child has learned it from you. Because you're hitting your child, you're yelling at your child, and then they think that's just normal. They think that they can do it to other child with no repercussions because you do it to them with no repercussions.
I totally disagree. Because if your child's a bully, physically causing harm to others, then they should get punishment. For example, on YouTube, there's a bully, his son was a bully, he faced freaking professional boxers, smacked him up, and he stopped. That's true way punishment. It doesn't have to be physical, but some sort of punishment will resolve that. He himself, the bully himself, is picking on people smaller than himself, so seeing someone larger than himself shows him he is not the top dog. He ain't the strongest man out there. If he keeps continuing this, he's gonna go to jail. You teach him early, it's better.
I think this is a very debatable discussion. It's I'm kind of leaning towards Isaac's side, because I think Dr. Keller's and a bit from Constable Castro part, I think the merging of the two would be the ideal way of teaching your child.
Aside from all that, Daniel, have you thought about which side you most agree with?
It's a very debatable discussion. So could you guys just sum up your points and give me it in your final statement so I can decide which way I want to go.
Okay.
Okay, so Constable Castro, you can start.
So, all kids ain't perfect, but if you inflict punishment, you can forge them, make them great children, and they will thank you in the end for all the hard work, all the tough times you had to push through.
Okay, like that's a very nice statement. Dr. Keller.
Well, thank you for letting me say my final statement, Daniel, too.
Yeah.
So seeing violence as a little kid is just a horrible thing because they normalize violence. When you're little and you see something happen all the time, like if you're being abused or your siblings are being abused and like punished way out of the ordinary, like hit for like menial crimes, then the violence will just be normalized and they will start causing violence to other people. So that's why I don't think like punishment, hitting, and all that is a good thing. It also can make your child really resentful. Like if you're hitting your child all the time, they might just hate you for it. And I would not blame them because you are really hurting them mentally and physically. And I think rewarding instead of punishing is how the future of parenting shall be.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and lastly, Isaac Neri.
I like hearing the points from both Constable Castro and Dr. Keller, but again, I would have to say, I have to reiterate that I disagree. I agree with them to an extent, but also disagree. I feel that children do need to be rewarded for their good deeds, but they still need to be guided when they've done something wrong. So I still feel strongly that yes, there should be some correction when needed, but it should be strictly discipline, not doesn't always have to be a punishment. You just need to guide them in the way that they should go. Set the example and do what's right.
Okay, thank you. You know what? Like, I haven't really come to like a conclusion between like picking sides, but you guys listening at home, like, tell me what you guys think. Like, if you agree with Dr. Keller, Isaac Neri, or Constable Castro. And it has been super happy, interesting times. I'd like to thank our guests, Dr. Keller, Constable Castro, and
Of course,
Isaac
it's a
Neri
pleasure.
for joining
Thanks.
us today. And I've been your host, Daniel Toe. Mr. Sue, I know you're watching and listening. Give us a good mark. And peace.